What if the night could become a turning point? What if I told you that the 8 hours of sleep you will spend tonight are capable of completely changing your tomorrow and every day that follows? Most people perceive sleep as a normal end to the day, but what you are about to learn right now proves this. The final minutes before you fall asleep are one of the most powerful tools for changing your reality. Every day, millions of people around the world wake up with the feeling that they are once again returning to the same routine. They face the same difficulties, repeat the same mistakes, attract the same problematic relationships and financial obstacles. And in the morning, they are met by the same feeling as yesterday and the day before, as if they are stuck in an endless circle of mediocrity. But neuroscience says something else. Our brain does not distinguish between real experience and vivid, emotionally rich imagination. This means that it is precisely in those short minutes before you fall asleep that a direct path opens to programming the subconscious for success, abundance, and happiness. Tonight, you will learn what to listen to, what to think about, and how to prepare your mind so that tomorrow morning becomes the beginning of a completely new version of your life. This is not fantasy and not empty motivation. These principles are confirmed by decades of research in the fields of neuroplasticity, quantum physics, and advanced discoveries in neurobiology, which have helped thousands of people break free from old patterns and create an extraordinary future. Transformation begins the moment you close your eyes, and in the morning you will understand how powerful this simple practice is. Your brain goes through certain stages as you approach sleep, and understanding these processes opens access to tomorrow's potential. In those drowsy moments before you finally fall asleep, your mind enters the hypnagogic state, a special, highly sensitive state in which consciousness gradually loosens control and the subconscious becomes open and receptive. Imagine this. During the day, your consciousness works like a strict security guard, filtering every thought, every phrase, and every emotion that tries to enter your inner space. This guard protects you from ideas that do not match your beliefs, but at the same time it prevents positive changes that you desperately need from taking root. However, when you begin to fall asleep, this guard goes on a break. Brain waves slow down, moving from active beta rhythms to smoother alpha and theta states. This opens a unique window of opportunity that does not repeat at any other time of the day. At this moment, the subconscious becomes like soft, fertile soil, ready to accept any seeds you choose to plant in it. It is especially important that the subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. If you fill it with inspiring thoughts, vivid images, and clear intentions in the hypnagogic state, it begins working to turn these mental pictures into your physical reality. And this is where most people make their main mistake. Instead of using this valuable time to program success, they fall asleep replaying worries, stress, and negative expectations in their minds. They mentally return to unpleasant moments of the day, scroll through social media, or immerse themselves in content that causes sadness or anxiety. By doing so, they literally program their subconscious to repeat the same problems they dream of getting rid of. The difference between people who wake up energized, motivated, and ready for opportunities, and those who open their eyes with a feeling of defeat, often lies solely in how they spend the final minutes before sleep. If during this period you consciously choose positive thoughts, uplifting expectations, and clear images of success, you are effectively handing your subconscious a plan of action for tomorrow. Your subconscious works all night. It analyzes, compares, creates new connections, and prepares your body for the feelings and states you set before sleep. That is why many people wake up with solutions to problems that seemed unsolvable the night before, or experience sudden inspiration right in the morning shower. And here a question arises. What will happen if you begin to direct this process consciously? What if you stop relying on chance and intentionally fill your inner world with the thoughts and images that create the life you desire? Modern brain science has proven that our thoughts reshape neural networks. Neuroplasticity confirms that we are not bound to old habits or patterns that have accompanied us for years. The work of Joe Dispenza and other researchers shows that new thoughts, especially during periods of high receptivity, such as the time before sleep, form new neural pathways. They become the foundation of new behavior, new emotions, and new life circumstances. At the cellular level, everything happens as follows. Every thought triggers the release of neurotransmitters, chemical signals that affect the entire body. If you repeat the same thoughts over and over again, the body begins to become dependent on the chemical mixture they produce. That is why it is so difficult to get rid of negative thinking. The organism literally becomes addicted to stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. But the good news is that this process is reversible. If you regularly nourish the mind with positive thoughts, especially before sleep, the body begins to get used to the chemistry of joy, gratitude, and calmness. It starts craving these emotions just as strongly as it once sought stress. Epigenetic studies show that emotions can activate certain genes or, on the contrary, turn off others. Therefore, the state in which you fall asleep affects not only your mood tomorrow, it can influence health, longevity, and the inner capabilities of the body. Why is evening the ideal time for transformation? Because in a relaxed state, the brain switches to different frequencies. Alpha and theta rhythms make the mind receptive, creative, and less prone to resistance. New thoughts take root more easily, without colliding with constant doubt and analysis. It is like planting seeds not in rocky soil, but in soft, moist earth. The most surprising thing is the speed of change. If deep patterns in the waking state require weeks or months, then in the hypnagogic state transformation can occur much faster. Many people notice changes in mood, energy, and even circumstances after just a few days of practice. But one key point is important, not perfection, but consistency. You do not need to perform perfect meditations every time. The main thing is to be present consistently and give your subconscious a positive direction, even if results are not immediately obvious. Most people spend the entire day in fight or flight mode and carry this stress into the night. Modern challenges trigger the same biological reaction that once helped our ancestors escape predators. But instead of danger, we react this way to traffic jams, work tasks, or household conflicts. The body is constantly prepared for threat and therefore deprived of the opportunity to recover, grow, and create. When you consciously exit this survival mode before sleep, a deep switch occurs. The parasympathetic nervous system is activated, the system of relaxation and recovery. Heart rate slows, breathing deepens, muscles relax, and the mind becomes clear and calm. In this state, the body can finally heal, renew itself, strengthen immunity, and harmonize internal processes. And even more importantly, it is in this state that access opens to higher levels of consciousness, creativity, intuition, inspiration. This is where breakthrough solutions are born. This is where life suddenly reveals itself from a completely new side. These minutes before sleep are your personal director's console, from which you create the film of your life. And visualization is the tool that makes this possible. Effective visualization is not like daydreaming. It engages all the senses: sight, hearing, touch, smells, and tastes. The brain needs vivid, rich details to form strong neural connections. Build a mental picture of your ideal morning. What time do you wake up? What do you see around you? How does your body feel? What emotions fill you? Live your ideal tomorrow in vivid scenes. But the most important thing is to feel the emotion of each moment. Visualization without emotions is just fantasy. But when you combine images with feelings of joy, gratitude, calmness, and inspiration, you create the neurochemical environment that changes the subconscious. Imagine how you confidently handle challenges, encounter unexpected opportunities, receive good news, and feel calm strength within yourself. The more real it feels, the faster the subconscious will begin to bring it to life. Do not force yourself. The process before sleep should be gentle. If the mind wanders, simply bring it back to bright images. This is not a mistake, it is training concentration. Many people mistakenly visualize only distant goals, forgetting about the beauty of simple joys of the next day. But it is precisely the combination of small pleasant moments, warm encounters, and a gentle feeling that everything is working out that creates the strongest internal effect. The most important element of visualization before sleep is not ideality, but consistency. You do not need hours of practice. Sometimes just 5 minutes of sincere positive images are enough for the brain to begin restructuring and preparing you for new experiences. The subconscious is always active, always listening, and continuously creating your reality based on the mental models you repeat most often. So ask yourself, what kind of tomorrow do you want to place into your mind this evening? The practice of nighttime meditation can elevate the power of pre-sleep programming to an even higher level. It helps you touch what quantum physicists call the field of infinite possibilities, a space where the limitations of your current personality do not exist. The methods created by Joe Dispenza are aimed at taking your consciousness beyond the boundaries of habitual identity, to where transformation becomes not a random event, but a natural consequence of your inner state. Unlike classical meditation focused on calming the mind, nighttime transformative practice has a deeper goal: to let go of who you were during the day and connect with the person you are becoming. This internal shift is not a temporary emotional uplift, but a fundamental change in identity. And it is precisely this that creates long-term change. The first step is to consciously release the emotions and thoughts that accompanied you during the day. This is not about suppressing negative experiences, but about making a choice. You decide not to carry them into tomorrow. As the body relaxes, brain waves naturally slow down, transitioning from active beta rhythms to deeper alpha and theta states. In these rhythms, the mind ceases to be analytical. It becomes open, soft, and receptive. It is here, in these quiet, half-dreamlike spaces, that the real magic of transformation begins. When you are no longer bound to the person you were today, you gain the ability to feel who you can be tomorrow. You are able to experience gratitude for events that have not yet happened, joy for opportunities that are only forming, and love for the version of yourself that is just beginning to unfold. And it is precisely these states that the quantum field responds to. It does not respond to effort or doubt, but to pure, elevated emotions. This process has nothing to do with mysticism. It is based on research demonstrating that consciousness participates in the formation of physical reality. People often report that during such nighttime meditations they receive insights, solutions, and realizations that were inaccessible to ordinary logical thinking. Others wake up with the feeling that their attitude toward yesterday's problems has changed dramatically. The key to nighttime meditation is the ability to hold elevated emotions for a prolonged time. Joy, gratitude, love, not as reactions to external events, but as an inner choice. When you are able to feel abundance before it appears, gratitude before results, and joy before events, you rise to a different frequency that naturally attracts the best opportunities into your life. Of course, this requires practice. You are literally rewriting decades of habitual reactions. Some nights the meditation will feel deep and effortless. On other evenings the mind may be restless, and this is normal. Both states are part of the process. The main thing is to understand that every moment spent in elevated emotions forms new neural connections that will guide your thoughts and actions tomorrow. Imagine what will be possible if you connect with your highest version every evening. Sleep is not just rest. It is the time when the subconscious actively organizes your reality based on what you loaded into it before sleep. The quality of your inner state before falling asleep directly affects your mood, your energy, the opportunities you notice, and even the people you attract into your life. During sleep, the brain does not simply rest. It processes emotions, strengthens memory, creates new connections, and reinterprets daily events. That is why solutions come in the morning and complex questions suddenly become easier. But there is an important detail. The subconscious does not process everything indiscriminately. It amplifies what was the most emotionally charged before sleep. If you fall asleep in a state of anxiety, the brain strengthens anxiety patterns. If you fall asleep in a state of gratitude, it strengthens gratitude. That is why people who practice positive evening rituals wake up with lightness and motivation, while those who fall asleep in stress wake up already tired. Your brain has a filtering system, the reticular activating system. It responds to what you consider important, and it is precisely at night that it is retuned in accordance with your pre-sleep thoughts. If you program positive expectations, the brain begins to notice new opportunities that it previously simply ignored. What programs do you load into your subconscious every night? The words you repeat to yourself before sleep carry enormous power. The subconscious accepts repeated phrases as truth, especially when you are in a relaxed, receptive state. But it is important to choose the right formulations, sincere, natural ones that evoke an emotional response. Choose phrases that gently expand your sense of what is possible, but feel authentic. For example, tomorrow will bring me pleasant surprises. I wake up with energy and optimism. Everything I need comes to me easily and naturally. Combinations of gratitude and intention are even more powerful. I am grateful for the opportunities that are approaching. I naturally attract positive people and events. But more important than the words are the feelings they evoke. Your subconscious responds to emotion, not to formulation. Repeat these phrases when you are already comfortably settled in bed. Some people find it helpful to link affirmations with breathing, saying them on a soft, slow exhale. This creates a natural rhythm and helps deepen relaxation. Remember, what matters is not perfection, but regularity. Even a few minutes of positive inner dialogue every night create a powerful cumulative effect. Over time, many notice that these positive phrases begin to surface automatically, especially in stressful moments. This is a sign that the subconscious is restructuring. When you wake up in the morning, the first minutes after awakening set the direction for the entire day. This is the point of intersection between your nighttime state and the day that begins. Do not rush to grab your phone or think about tasks. First, restore the connection with the feelings you cultivated in the evening. Be grateful for the night, for your body, for your home, for the new day. Feel this simple, warm gratitude. Take a few deep breaths and feel how the air fills you with energy. Morning breathing is a bridge between the calm of sleep and the activity of the day. And most importantly, choose what you fill your mind with first. Try to avoid abrupt exposure to negativity, news, anxious messages, pressure from social media. Set a gentle but clear intention. How do you want to feel today? Do not demand a specific result from yourself. Simply maintain a high frequency. Give your body movement. Light stretching, a walk, or any pleasant morning actions will help integrate nighttime programming into your state. Watch your inner dialogue during the first hours of the day. If anxiety or habitual negative thoughts appear, gently return your attention to gratitude, calmness. True transformation does not come from reading or understanding. It becomes the result of practice. Small, consistent steps create enormous shifts. Start today with one simple action: visualization, gratitude, or repeating positive phrases. Let go of the attempt to do everything perfectly. Give yourself 7 days of consistency, and you will notice the first subtle changes in morning sensations, in reactions to stress, and in the kinds of events that begin to appear in your life. Write down these changes, not to judge yourself, but to see how your inner work shapes a new external reality. Trust the process. Even when immediate results are not visible, your subconscious is working. It is always listening, always learning, always creating your life from your emotions and thoughts. Imagine what your life will be like in 6 months if you practice this every night. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, remember, you are standing on the threshold of infinite possibilities. 8 hours ahead are not just rest for the body. They are your workshop, your inner temple, your space of creation. What you place into your subconscious tonight will become the material of your tomorrow. And this choice will determine your reality. Your rebirth begins tonight. When you close your eyes, you will enter the most powerful programming state that exists in the human brain. Use it consciously. Tonight is the first night of your new life. Sweet dreams. If this material resonated with you, if you felt that it helps you see your possibilities in a new way and direct your life, support this content. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new practices, techniques, and inspiring materials. Thank you for walking this path.